Viva Fitness. Fiesta Fit Fest presented by HEB is coming to San Antonio, April 14th through the 16th, 2023. Get geared up to party and celebrate all things fitness. Headlined by Le Tap San Antonio, the Tour de France cycling event. Cyclists of all ages. The Le Tap San Antonio presented by HEB sold out last year. Register for the 160 or 25-mile Tour de France cycling event today. Register today at fiestafitfest.com.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
in Cruton.
Oh, yes.
What? Yeah. Go ahead. It's This Week in Recruiting. Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. See his fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting. And follow him on Instagram.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, on the gram.
What's your...
Greg Powers Recruiting.
Greg Powers Recruiting on Instagram. He's on the gram. Go support him.
He got a follow from Mallory Hartley,
Oh,
and
let's
that's
go.
big time on the gram.
This, of course, is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express.
Oh, do we follow Chicken Express on Instagram? Do they have an Instagram?
Ooh.
I bet their Instagram is... If they have an Instagram...
If it's just
It's
videos
gotta
full
be-
of tenders,
it's
that's going
gotta
to be
be-
a difficult follow.
Honestly, it has to be.
Because that's like the holy grail, and if you open your phone and see those tenders,
It's just like, honestly...
I'm going to look into this.
Hire us to do your social media, because all we'll do is just like every day. It'll be like 365 days attendees. But then, I mean, they're much more than attendees, so they'd probably not be mad about
They have
that,
it all,
but,
man. Like
you know.
it's just like it's the spot. It's the spot to be. If you're thinking about lunch right now, you're listening to this show. Here's your sign to go to Chicken Express.
That is...
Pull up and
all
get you
all
some
right,
tendies.
Here's a hot take.
Oh, Chicken E, followed by Dave Campbell's Texas Football. This
Love
is
to
it.
see it. Love to see it. Let me ask you. Is
Tim?
that the best smelling restaurant in America?
Look. Oh, where did
no,
it go?
Wrong
This one.
camera.
There we go.
They made a heart out of all the Chicken E
Oh,
stuff.
You love to see it.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Is it the best smelling restaurant in America?
It might be. I
Trying
mean,
to
I
think-
can't think of one that.
I'm trying to think of other ones. You know,
They do tailgate packages. Holy cow. I'm learning so
I'm trying
much.
to think. You know, like one of the ones that I always and not really a competitor, so I hope they don't mind. But like Krispy Kreme always smells really good. But that's not really it's hardly a restaurant. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like a
Cinnabon.
yeah, Cinnabon. That's hardly a restaurant.
Oh, yeah, if you're walking through the mall and Annie Ann's, you know, like those kind of like
but,
singular
like,
bakery.
As far as like, but those are snacks.
Yeah.
To me, like as far as a meal restaurant is concerned, like Chicken Express, I think it might be the best smelling restaurant.
And the Texas high school coaches love Chicken Express.
Dude,
I mean,
they
those
do.
questionnaires are probably like filled up with like, what do you want your food to be
Dude.
after the games? Chicken Express.
They do. Well, we've told the story before where we were in Mesquite watching Longview. Were you there with us?
No, he wasn't there.
I
You weren't
wasn't
there. We were waiting to get an interview with John King afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta hold on. I'm feeding my kids," and he's just got this stack of yellow boxes, and I'm
We were just drooling.
I'm
You were like
"Can
trying to get in
I-
line?"
Can I join the team?
And Mesquite always has good food, so that meant something, you know, in the press box.
Tell you what.
You were Lobo up.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Prospect on the rise. We're going to Ingleside. Talk
Let's
about
do
their
it.
soon-to-be senior wide receiver J.C. Smith, Jaden Smith, picked up a couple of offers this week. A couple of big ones, including Nebraska, Washington, and Boston College to go along with an offer from Columbia. He's a DCCF 3-star. He's got offers in-state for places like North Texas, plus some places like Air Force, Fordham, and Texas Southern. He was their district utility player of the year, and he did a little bit of everything for them, as you tend to do at the 4A level
Yeah.
like with Ingleside. But this kid, we might be, I don't want to throw around the words hidden gem.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that, because I think he's a little bit off the beaten path, might not be getting the love he deserves.
You want to know what I feel good about? We made this dude a 3-star like 3 months ago.
Love it.
Before I think he had like one offer. This was a tape I watched. Was like, yeah, that dude can play, and he's been rewarded for. Look at this dude's.
Dude, the stride.
Maybe he's a hot 100. I mean, he might be a hot 100. You're seeing this stuff happen like right. We've watched this tape and have been impressed with him. This guy can flat out fly. And what I really love about what you're seeing here on tape, you can see right there. I think he has a little bit of a knee brace on. He played most of last season with a partially torn meniscus.
Wow.
So he racked up over 1,000 yards at receiving, played some defense, great in the return game, and colleges are starting to wake up to the fact that this guy is an elite talent in Texas high school football. It's pretty cool too because I'm trying to think of the last, if ever, Ingleside guy that I've covered.
Boy, yeah. It's a good one. Let me see if
You
I
know what I
can-
mean? Like nothing jumps to the forefront of my mind for
Yeah.
that as a prospect who went to Ingleside. But this guy took an unofficial visit to Washington this past week and picked up an offer from UW. Nebraska offered him as well. Nebraska's doing a great job evaluating Texas high school football talent. But anytime, like Washington doesn't offer a lot of people in
Right.
Texas. Sometimes they offer people in Texas. So they must think that they have realistic shot at possibly reeling him in at the end of the day. And few P5 offers now on his list with Nebraska, Washington, Boston College. And what I love to see is, Ivy League.
Yeah.
He's got an offer from Columbia. I wouldn't be shocked to see like maybe Rice jump in this one. So we'll just have to watch and see what happens.
The only thing I'm seeing as far as there's a Jalen Gross was a kid in the class of 2015 who was a 3-star. It looks like he ended up not signing, but he was a kid who transferred from Nebraska to play at Ingleside. He was a
Okay.
He was a 2-star prospect on 247. So this might be, honestly, at least in the kind of this modern era of recruiting, this is probably the highest rated player.
You
come out of Ingleside.
consider that Corpus Christi, I guess.
Yeah, kind of Coastal Bend area.
Yeah.
Be it, but he's a name to know down there. Is Jaden Smith, the wide receiver there from Ingleside, a name to know, and picking up offers left and right. Let's roll on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to the DFW Metroplex out east of DFW to talk about Forney's soon-to-be senior safety, Aaron Flowers. Is the guy who we've talked about on this show before. He committed this week. He committed to the Oregon Ducks, choosing them over places like USC and Oklahoma. Number 19 in the DCTF Rising Hot 100. And, Oregon is getting a playmaker of the highest order in the defensive secondary.
Really like his versatility in the defensive secondary. He's a guy who can play safety. He's got experience playing cornerback. He's a really good tackler, smooth in and out of his breaks, wastes little movement, arrives at the ball with a little bit of fire and passion. I love that. And he was the highest rated commitment in the state of Texas this week, but this was a very, very busy week of commitments. You had Peyton Pierce, who pulled the trigger on his commitment to Ohio State. One that we haven't got a chance to put something up on the site yet happened last night.
Yeah.
Caleb Blanton committed to Rice from Manville, a very talented
wow.
linebacker, another 3-star
Nice little
for the Rice Owls, giving them another, what I think is a huge addition in the 2024 class, because they have Armstrong Nodum as well at Mesquite Horn. That class is off to a very hot start.
It's like John Kay knows what he's doing down there.
Yeah, something's going on. Michael Hawkins committed to Oklahoma. TCU found its quarterback in Hoss Haney, a 3-star top 100 guy from Aledo who led the Bearcats to a state championship win. I think that's a great fit for TCU's offense. I mean, I really do think that's a big one. And then our number 8 quarterback in the state rankings, Deuce Adams, the final quarterback in the top 100 or Hot 100, committed to Louisville. So the top 8 quarterbacks in the Lone Star State are now all off the board, and that'll make it really interesting to see who the next 4 or 5 are on these schools' list as they're trying to find, a fit under center, because the top 8 guys are all committed.
Big week of commits. Aaron Flowers, the biggest one there, going to Oregon, and a really nice get for the Ducks, who continue to pick their spots here in the state of Texas, and this is another example of that. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers. Let's check out his fine work at texasfootball.com/recruiting.
We got there eventually.
Thank you. Let's roll on to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week. Let's go to Galveston. Talk about the Golden Tornadoes, who last year had one of the very best defenses, I think statistically the best defense in Texas high school football. And one of the reasons why was their then sophomore, soon-to-be junior safety, Jonah Williams, who you are calling on texasfootball.com one of the hottest underclassmen this offseason. Not just because he's a DCTF 5-star watch list guy.
No, because he's good. He's really good. I love his versatility, I guess is the best way to say it. He's a guy who I think has the size and frame to be a box player, but he moves more like a safety. His 4 punt return touchdowns can kind of suggest the type of speed that he's bringing to the table. He's picked up 15 offers since January 1 of 2023. All 15. He had 0 offers coming into 2023. So when people started to see this film, he started to blow up. And it's not just been like small offers. This guy's been picking up offers from the likes of, Texas, Texas A&M, TCU, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Baylor, et cetera, et cetera. So he's got all the big dogs chasing. I feel pretty good about him being a top 10 guy in the class. So he's going to be one of those top 10 type of players based on what I've seen so far. It's still very early. You got 2 years left of high school ball, et cetera, et cetera. But out of the gates, I feel pretty good about Jonah being in the top 10.
4 interceptions, 3 of them returned for touchdowns.
Yep.
And 4 punt return touchdowns.
Yep.
So if he gets an open space, it is pretty much over.
Well, he was the overall MVP in that district as a sophomore.
Yeah, a star there in Jonah Williams, the Galveston ball safety. Keep an eye on him. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week, we talked about Ingleside.
Yep.
And their outstanding playmaker, Jaden Smith, maybe the best. We haven't talked about Ingleside in quite a while, right? Let's go to Katy.
Name one.
Meanwhile, in
Name
Katy,
one
they've
play.
put on.
Talk about their, believe it or not, offensive lineman, Cohen Eccles, who is now in the DCTF Rising Hot 100, checking in at number 90. He was the offensive line MVP at the Next Level Athlete Texas Top 100 Showcase in Houston, and now has 14 offers to his name. And, I, for one, am shocked that Katy has an outstanding offensive line.
He is a bully, and I wanted to make him the recruit of the week because he was one of the tapes that I've seen his tape before, but rewatching it again this week, I just like to watch him play football. You know what I mean? He is really good. A cool story about Cohen Eccles is I was watching Texan Live in the playoff push in 2021, and there was a big dude out there wearing number 74. Number 74 had no name on his jersey. All the other people had names on their jerseys. So I thought, oh, wait, this guy's been called up from the JV team. Who's this monster? Yeah. So I reached out to Jesse and some of our guys over at Texan Live to try to get that roster as quick as I could. It was Cohen Eccles. And guess what? He's a freak. He's had a great offseason. He was the Next Level Athlete O-line MVP. He was the UC Report Camp O-line MVP. He plays right tackle a lot for Katy. Also, you can see he plays guard. He can center snap.
Oh, wow.
As well.
So he's essentially a five position guy.
Yeah, he can play anywhere up front, and he said he might play some center for Katy this season, and this is how I like a center. Broad-shouldered, quick off the snap, a bully, and extremely intelligent, and I think those are the boxes that he checks, and that's what makes him a top 100 guy, and that's why he's picked up 14 or 15 offers since being named the Next Level Athlete Camp MVP back in January. So just a fun player to watch and a good kid that you can't help but root for. So congrats, Cohen Eccles.
Yeah, you want to talk about a guy like a road grader. I mean, this tape, if you're a listener to the podcast, go watch the show. He's doing whatever he wants out there. I mean,
he's pushing dudes around like they're flying. When he hits them, they're flying.
Man.
And that's what you kind of look for, and that's why P5 schools just started on him.
Yeah,
they just started offering him. He's got you got a lot of the group of 5 schools, but P5 schools are starting to catch on. He got Purdue, he's got Texas Tech.
Yep.
We'll see what comes next, but he's got some really good options on the recruiting trail now.
It is a big deal down there. Cohen Eccles now a DCTF Rising 2024 Hot 100 member, which you can find at texasfootball.com/recruiting, where you can find all the fine work of Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's. Powers, stick around, and because I need to talk to you about something.
Okay, I guess I'll stay.
Thank you.
I'll be here.
Thanks, Powers. I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at texasfootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out texasfootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at texasfootball.com/subscribe.